Guess what? It's the CSL playoffs with the University of Windsor. Before we get into the details on this match, I'll let you know I am Zeron for UN Esports and Terrible, Terrible Damage. And this week I do have a co-caster from the University of Windsor. He is...
Hi, I'm Eric Eats, and we'll be co-casting the sweet ZVT game for you here today. And I'll let Derek talk about the details.
That would be a great introduction if you actually got the correct matchup. We have a Zerg versus Protoss, and we'll be starting with the introductions. The matches between the University of Windsor and North Carolina State University. First up in the bottom left, he is the red Protoss from the University of Windsor. It is Tensai. And in the upper right, the blue Zerg representing North Carolina State University. It is Voodoo. All right, so ZVP, Cloud Kingdom. Anything you're hoping to see here, Geets?
Oh, I'm kind of confused. Did I say T up there in the starting? This is a ZVT matchup?
Yeah, Zerg versus Protoss is what we're
I
looking
got a
at.
little confused. I'm sorry about that, fans. A little confused. This is a Protoss versus Zerg match, but I'm open for anything that happens out on this field. Zerg has a lot of options going against what seems to be like a Forge Fast expand. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen here, Derek?
Well, we've started off with the uber standard 14 pool. We have the pylon on the low ground from Tensai. Probably the most likely thing here would be a Nexus first, since we don't have the probe hanging around down there at the pylon to actually put down the forge. And Nexus first, very safe considering that 9 scout on the probe. So far looking like as standard as can be.
300 minerals being saved up. Yep, looks like he's going down.
Yeah, that is the Nexus there at the natural out of Tensai. Nexus first at 17. Actually, while it sounds very greedy, very safe because he did go for that 9 scout to ensure that it was indeed safe to do so. Tries blocking that hatch for a little bit, but it gets to go down there at the natural, and no gas out of the Zerg as of yet, but Tensai will be able to scout and see.
Here comes the Overlord.
Yeah, the Overlord with that, I guess not very new now, but the increased Overlord speed from several months back, allowing those Overlords to just get right in there brazenly, just hovering over everything like they own the place.
Passive blobs floating around the map. They're kind of creepy looking if you look at them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, trying to play as Terran is frustrating when you have this big blob flying over, just flies into your base. Oh, this is what you're doing. Turns around, one Marine's chasing him, and just leaves. Nothing you can do.
Nothing at all. Here comes some lings to scout for any pylons.
Yeah, those are the initial 4 lings. Looks like one will clear out that probe from the third base. Tensai does want to make sure he sees that third base go down. Spots the drone, actually going to go back and block it with a pylon. Very annoying considering those lings were moving out across the map, but he would pull them back to deal with it. So that will help out quite a bit. And the probe sneaks back in very much to the non-information there of Voodoo, not seeing that. See if that comes into play later on.
Is he going to get a cancel off? Is he going to get a cancel off? Oh, he doesn't. Oh, man, 100 minerals.
Yep, the pylon not canceled. That is quite a mistake there. 75 minerals doesn't seem like a lot, but it can add up quite a bit in an opening, especially this early on. Only at around 30 supply for each player. Cybercore going to be finishing up, so with that we're going to be able to figure out what kind of tech choice Tensai is going to be going for. Adding on the third gas right now at about 340 could be anything really. Robo is the most in vogue, but it could be a Twilight Council if he's... I'm actually going to think he's going Twilight for Blink here off 3 gas, but we'll have to see.
What's Zerg doing? The pretty standard. Has he even started mining gas? No, he hasn't.
No, just adding on the 2 gas here. That popularized time from Stefano, the double gas at 6 minutes off of that triple span.
Getting another
gasless. And there's the Robo. So no Twilight here, just getting the initial Stalker, skipping the Zealot, and going right into that Robo. So that is the most popular option. Now the question will now be, is he going to be going for that Robo Expand, going for that 3-base play and trying to hit what is most often a 16-minute timing before Broodlord, or is he going to go for that 2-base Immortal all-in? Knowing Tensai, I'd probably go with the Immortal All-In.
What kind of matchup would you like to see, though? Do you want to see a long match in here?
Well, I mean, anything other, when we look at this matchup, pretty much anything other than Immortal All-In or Brood, Turtle Broodlord Infestor is pretty much welcome, because that's what we see 90% of the time is, two base All-In out of the Protoss, or Zerg going to Turtle Infestor Broodlord if it goes past that point.
Lunar Lord, so effective. Unless he
Yep.
pops little mothership.
Yeah, it has come down to getting off that vortex. As Zergs have gotten better at neuroparasiting the mothership, it's gotten more and more difficult to actually make use of that. We're seeing Chrono Boost being spent here on the robotics facility. The Zergling spotting for the third, but I don't think one's coming. This is looking very much like the Immortal Sentry All-In, which will mean he'll be moving out with 3 Immortals, that initial stalker, a few sentries, and sending a warp prism to follow after if he goes in for it. Now, what we don't actually see so far are the gateways. We should be seeing a gateway explosion anytime now. We see minerals being banked up, and we'll have to see those all come down.
Got good supply, or watch over the watchtowers, though.
Yeah, the Zerg has so far had good vision. He probably wants to check again on that third base. That's going to be the key to keep an eye on. Is he taking that or not? Since he hasn't gotten the best vision on what's going on, he really doesn't know what's happening. He hasn't even seen the robo.
Tensai's saving up a lot of minerals.
Yep. So as we see here, we have now that 7 gateways going down to follow it up. So those will be finishing up in time for the warp prism coming out, and we'll see a big warp in to follow this up. So this is the initial vulnerable point. Only 4 sentries, 3 immortals, and a stalker moving out. So if the Zerg catches that little force out in the middle of the map, it can end it. But after that, it spirals out of control very quickly as the warp-ins come in. So far, in terms of the Zerg, he is just working on that roach train tech. So not necessarily the best, but pretty typical of what you see at this point. So it's going to be coming down to a micro battle here. Here comes the engagement. Lings get a bit of a surround there, but that's not nearly enough. The roaches without roach ABS can't close the distance, and that didn't really accomplish anything for the Zerg, maybe slowing up Tensai a tiny bit. So he's moving now on to creep, just at the edge here. The ladies engaging on their own without the roaches. That's kind of awkward there. Not really sure what Voodoo is looking to accomplish, and Tensai getting into a pretty good position. Cuts off only one roach and maybe a couple lings there, so can't trap much, but keeps all of his units alive, and now moving into this cushy position behind the third. In come the lings, in come the roaches, and this will pretty much be the deciding battle. A big move in here, taking out all the sentries, but not able to take out the bulk of the army as the reinforcements come in. He may actually be able to clean this up as the sentry count is down to just 1, leaving just a few immortals. A nice pickup here into the warp prism of the 1 immortal, saving it in terms of all its health as the shields go down.
3 HP.
Yeah, 3 HP left on that singular sentry. 60 energy left, so he does have 1 singular force field. A very close battle there, but Tensai able to force his way through and take out that third.
Here comes more sentries.
Yeah, and here come the drones. Oh, those force fields, very nice, forcing those drones through a choke into a single zealot. That zealot cleaning up 6 kills on that single zealot. And looks like this may be too much. If somehow Voodoo holds this, it's not over. Tensai not expanding behind this, so if somehow he held on, it wouldn't necessarily be over. But here comes the big pull, and there's a lot left. Oh, force fields off, all the drones. Gets the queen as a bonus.
That's a big bank, though, if you can get down some spine crawlers.
Yeah, the big problem here is he just does not have the larva. 0 larva on the field, just 1 ready now.
Those wings are too much.
Lings getting a decent surround because the force fields are just about spent. The drones moving in, not enough. Voodoo has left the game. Tensai takes game 1. So how do you think of his play there, Geets?
You know, he's aggressive. He pushed early. and it worked off for him. Just
Yeah,
some good standard play there.
yeah, Windsor coming out strong with their ace in game one. We'll see if they're able to continue.